Welcome to Bring Your Fire Forward. I am your host, Carolina Kareem with Designify, and this is the new podcast that we are bringing forward. Today I want to talk about slowing down and tuning in. That's the message that has been coming into my entrepreneur lane. And recently I expressed it to a dear friend that's in a mastermind with me, and she just felt it. And I was like, wow, okay. She's like, that is something. You just totally got me on that. I feel you. And so I was in conversation about a day later with another woman, and it just came up to the top, and I started saying it again about slowing down. Like, this is what's coming in to me, and I invite you also to maybe lean in, slow down, tune in, because we might be missing what's right in front of us. And so, it's like, okay, so how do you know you're being asked to slow down, right? Well, part of that is really tuning in. And we're talking about energetics here. We're talking about feeling deep within your own compass, that divine connection where you just feel like these brilliant downloads come through, or you just have like this amazing, you're like, whoa, that's divine connection to something bigger than you, the bigger source, right? And so when I have, I should say, these thoughts that come through, I'm like, whoa, I need to slow down. I can see it. And the funny part is when it happens, so much so that I've been doing, a lot of self-work on realizing not only triggers, but also when things are in synchronization and that same message starts coming through. What do you mean, right? Well, for instance, so 2 weeks ago, I was in the middle of a really big build for business, and I was trying to move fast, right? I was like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. I have some sticky notes everywhere. Oh, okay, that's mine to do. Okay, that's yours to do. Sorting through the things, late nights, right? Waking up early, just in production creation mode. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Pop that in the comments if you feel me on that. And as I'm moving through trying to get things done, it happens. Like, something happens where I'm trying to upload this. Wait, server failure. Okay, of course there's a server failure right now because all I want to do is go to sleep because I've been up since, right? So your mind starts going into that, why can't this just happen fast? Okay, I'm going to try a different platform. So then you move, you reroute, you try again. All the while you're trying not to get bent out of shape, because ultimately in the scheme of things, you have no control over the server. Sure, you can bitch and moan and complain all you want, but it's not really going to change anything except for your energy inside. So that's really where I was focused on in the middle of my build, because I want to be the type of woman and entrepreneur that builds with heart, not with chaos. Builds with understanding of what's mine to do and what's the rhythm and timing, which then to do it. How many of y'all know that, we have brilliant ideas all the time? It doesn't actually mean it's that very moment in time to get it done. It just means it's getting you ready for that pull of where you'll be going. It's almost like seeing the map before. You're like, oh, that's the direction I'm heading. You get these little downloads, these little divine connective feelings of, ooh, you know what I'm talking about? It's like this divine wonderment where you're like, I want to do that. So I'm going through this build, right? And, this probably about 2 weeks, this was a very fast build. And it wasn't just the server. It was, I got to sign up for this thing. Okay, great. I'll open up that. Then I go open it. It's supposed to be a super fast thing. And guess what? Oh, verification process needed. Okay, verified through this way. Oh, that way's not working. Of course it's not working. Okay, let's go through the long way. How long is the long way? Long way is going to be 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. I started to see about after the third time in this midst of my build where I'm, doing all the things and shifting the gears, doing my part on the things I need to get done. And then I noticed, oh my gosh, you are asking me to slow down. You are actually advising me. You are guiding me. Who's you? Divine, spirit, love, universe, whatever you want to call it. I call it spirit. I call it divine, my creator. Why? Because I know I'm grounded in something bigger than myself. I know that I do not revolve around the world. I'm not the center of the universe. I know there is something greater, bigger, amazing. Why do I know? Because I know. I'm connected. I can feel it. I can feel it in my energy. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it when I get sparkle bumps. I can see it in my energy when I'm on video. I get little zzz come across the screen. Happens all the time in my world. And no, it's not bad, faulty Wi-Fi. I have great Wi-Fi, actually. So I finally was driving to go get something out and about. So I wasn't no longer at my computer anymore. And in the midst of this build week, I was driving and, driving is a really good practice of your own self energy. How many of y'all know that? Absolutely. Yeah. I don't sit there and bitch and moan about a driver. I might be like, you did this to me, but guess what? I'm going to bring that down. So it's a practice of, okay, no, they don't have control over my energy. They might have spiked it a little. And then I saw the flag and then I'm like, whoa, Carolina, we got to bring that down. We don't know what's going on in that person's world. We don't know where they're at. It's not the end of the world. If we don't get there in this minute, we're just going to enjoy the moment. We're going to enjoy the ride, right? So I'm following this guy and he's going kind of slow. And I'm like, okay, that's all right. I'm meant to that's fine. I'm slowing down, right? And he finally starts braking and another car comes like whipping around me, whipping around him, cuts him off, gets over to the lane to turn. And I'm like, okay. And the guy that's braking in front of me, he eventually slowly gets over to the turn lane. And I'm like, okay, well, now I got to kind of get around because his tail is kind of out of the lane. And I saw another car coming behind me. And I thought, oh, I got to like speed up real quick so that, I'm not cutting off the next guy in the lane. So let me get around this guy, judge for the next guy coming through the lane. And there's a stoplight right ahead of me, but it's green, so I'm good. So I put the gas on. And I zoom around, get around, I clear him. I get about, 20, 30 feet, and the light turns yellow. Of course it does. And I literally did that. I turned up to my creator and I said, of course it turned yellow. Because that is the message you're telling me. It's not just in work, it's in life. It's slow down. Be in rhythm. And I started to think about that because, as we walk through our journeys, a lot of us talk about having faith, right? Yeah, I have faith, I have trust, but do you really? And when we slow down and tune in, we can really practice that faith that's being asked of us. And so I sat with it, right? So early mornings, I have coffee. When I say early. I wake up 4, sometimes 3:30 in the morning. Mind of a creator, a mind of a generator. I'm constantly generating, but I go to bed pretty early, so get my beauty rest. But bringing that lesson into my time of reflection in the morning, I started to think about it. And I began to think about, isn't that funny how I'm feeling, I'm hearing, I'm tuning into this lesson that's coming through of slow down, tune in. That's often a lesson I have. It's actually a sticky note that I have sticking right above the camera, right behind you. There's this beautiful montage of colorful reminders. And one of them says, slow down and tune in. But the very beauty of the slow down was so evident to me that I'm like, wow, okay. And that's the message that I mentioned to my lovely mastermind compadre in a conversation. And besides the whole conversation, the point of the conversation was actually work. But she came back and said, "Oh my gosh, I totally feel what you're saying about the slow down. Thank you for that. I needed to hear that." What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's not just for me? Oh my gosh. And that's the epiphany of opening up your voice, leaning in and bringing that tune that you're hearing, bringing it forward. Be in conversation and saying it. And that's a lot of what this podcast is all about, bringing your fire forward. I feel like it needs a platform. I feel like it needs a stage of women to be able to come together and say that. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know where this podcast thing goes. I just, If you've been watching from the beginning, I pressed 3, 2, 1, record, because I felt it on my heart. I don't even have a podcast name. Actually, this is the first episode that I actually introduced myself as Bring Your Fire Forward as the name of this podcast. So kudos there. Yay. See, we don't need to have it all figured out. We just need to know, what is the pull? What are we being tuned in to do? What is ours to do? I imagine one day I'll look back at this podcast and see where I started and be proud of myself for starting, even without a name, even with only 56 subscribers. That's all right. So this message be continued to show through. It happened in technology. I went to go play my Apple Music in the guest bedroom, and I press play, and it's like, oh, Apple needs you to verify and do this and do that. It wasn't just a simple, like it always is. It's always simple, just, oh, Apple Play. It goes from, speaker to speaker throughout the house. It's simultaneous. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, except for when I wanted it last week. It was, sorry, you're going to have to, no, disconnect, can't try. I was like, okay, well, what can I do? And so I thought, all right, well, I do have my phone. Okay, so I'll grab my phone and I'll play it from there, and then I'll, airdrop it over there. And it caused me to have to think of another way out or another way through, rather than just get all upset about it, get my panties in a bunch about it. There's no need for that. It's protecting my energy, challenging my brain, moving forward with whatever life is serving up. It prepares us for the bigger things. We all go through challenges, some just absolutely life-altering. And I hear people complaining about the smaller things and forgetting the perspective of the bigger things, and remembering that we have control of only one thing: you. Inside. Your energy, your emotional environment inside. It's the only thing we have control over. And so that's what I've been practicing lately. And so I always like to see, when I'm in a lesson, I can see it. I do this active practice. I call it hawk vision, of seeing it and then reflecting on it, and then trying to rise to this higher perspective of, okay, what's the lesson here? What's the bigger, greater good that I need to focus in here? What could this serve forward? What is it equipping me for next? Because I obviously need it. It's like your creator's like, oh, hey, listen, I know you want to go over there and I'm excited to take you there, but first, hold on. We're going to need to put a couple things in your bag and get you ready, okay? So I'm going to show you where these are. Actually, you know what? I'll just bring them to you. You just sit tight. I'm going to bring everything you need to you, okay? And I'm going to put it in a line so that you can actively grab and get and walk through and equip yourself and grow yourself for where you're going, because I see where you're going and I'm excited to take you there. That's how I envision my creator. That's how I envision life, as a vessel coming to me saying, hey, you're ready for the next step. You're ready for that next thing, that next big calling, that thing that you've been pulling towards, your heart pull. I always say that your heart is just like, come on, come on. You're like, oh my gosh, why won't it stop? I wonder why. I think I could possibly fill in the blank. So all that to say, I'm still in the lesson. I still am practicing the lesson. Just last night, this feather. There was 3 feathers yesterday that found me. I had one in the very morning. It was a little tiny one. And then this one, medium, in the afternoon. Well, 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. One was 5 in the morning. One was 10 in the morning. And then one was later at night. We went for a walk with my dog after dinner, and it was already kind of dusk out. And yeah, another one. So 3 found me yesterday, but this one specifically, I was walking with my dog and my husband, and we were about a block, no, maybe 3 houses, wasn't quite a block, but maybe like 3 houses, half a block away from, away from that house, my house. And I'm just walking, looking around, looking at all the beautiful things, right? And when I say, if you know anything about feathers that I speak of, feathers find me. I don't look for them. And it's not like I'm purposely like looking down and being like, where's the next one? Where's the next one? No, they actually like literally in my path or literally where I look. It's just interesting. So this one was right in my path. Like literally I stepped right over it. Here it is. And I stepped right over it. And I just keep walking. And my husband was like half a step behind me. And because I had the dog and, she likes to go fast. And my husband, he's like, babe, you missed it. And he points down. And I look back and I turn around. I'm like, oh, and it was a nice big feather. I mean, it's like a medium size, maybe 4 inches, right? A nice feather. I was like, oh my gosh, I completely missed it. So I sat with that this morning. I'm like, what if I don't slow down and tune in? I could miss it. And I don't want that. Thank God for my husband and his eyes to be able to see. Thank God that I have people in my circle that show up for me in ways that they would say, hey, don't miss that. But all in all, we have to do that our own self as much as possible, to actively practice slowing down, opening our eyes, opening our ears. One of the things that I often ask my creator for is, it's not more, it's definitely not more. I ask my creator for strength, wisdom, and wealth of opportunity. And then I ask for ears to hear and eyes to see. Not these regular human eyes, not these regular human ears that we hear the noisy world going around. I mean, Lord knows it's very noisy out there. I'm talking about divine hearing, divinely listening and leaning in, tuning in and listening what is being said and messaged and guided for you. It's equipping you. It's equipping you for that next thing you need, that next place that you're going. Which we often disconnect those two things. And I find that interesting because we tend to be so in our lives, going through it, right? And one of the things that I actively have moved out of my vocabulary box, I do not use the word, is busy. I don't use that word, busy. I use the word productive. Productive for me says that I am in control of my energy and where I put that energy, because my energy is connected to time. Time is not replenishable. So therefore, my energy is on a budget. I budget it out. Some people don't get my energy. Some conversations don't get my energy. Lots of things don't get my energy, to be very honest with you. It seems like it gets smaller and smaller and smaller because the world gets noisier and noisier and noisier, and people tend to swirl and spin in that noise. Oh, did you hear da 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 da? Oh, I can't believe da 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 da. Oh, I hate blah 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 blah. Noise, chaos, things that pull my energy into a place that won't be productive. So I have to protect my energy. Why? Because I know I know I'm heading towards bigger things that I've been praying for in my business, in my life. And that's the funny part, because when we get stuck in the noise, in the cloud of noise, we tend to forget that where we are in life, where we're placed, where we are right now, the hard thing that we're walking through, the challenge that's coming at us, the thing that that person said, the thing that our boss made us feel, is all of it is this beautiful lesson saying, here you go, here's this. All you need to do is bring your best here and learn from this challenge. You're going to get better. And this won't be the last one. I'll give you another one. Don't worry. That's what the creator's saying. But here, start with this lesson. This one's good. And so you sit there and you think, oh my gosh, what am I going to say to her? I can't believe she made me feel like this and she did this and da-da-da. And you tend to just spiral in that one spot. Instead of coming up with that hawk vision from the top and looking at the whole entire situation saying, wait a minute. If I speak up for my value here, if I create boundaries here, if I say no thank you here, what is it equipping me? What is it strengthening my voice? It's my throat chakra. Some of us are so silenced there. Some of us would never get on a mic and talk about what that is. I think that is part of where we tend to forget about that hawk vision of the lesson. What's the lesson? Because I need this lesson. It's almost like in a video game and you're searching around through the board and you're like, wait, I still need that last thing. I can't. Maybe it's a tool, right? I still need that last thing. I can't get to the next level without that. I can't complete the boss, right? The end level, the bad guy, I don't know, the castle. Let's talk Mario. The castle. Woohoo! Yeah. That is how I visually see life. Nothing is happening to us. I know you've heard that title before, or that, hot word before. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. Happening for us, happening for you to level up, happening for me to level up. Where are we leveling up to? To everywhere you've been wanting, to everywhere you've been praying to go. Maybe even those things that you've actually started to give up on, but they're still in there, right? They still nag at you. Oh, they even hurt sometimes when people bring them up. Your old ideas, your old ventures, the things you tried at, maybe they didn't work out exactly how you thought they were going to work out. What I know to be true is that none of it is for nothing. It's all toward where you're going. But if you only can see the loss of it and you can't see the lesson in it, then you're going to have to repeat that lesson again and again and again and again. You can see how that's burdensome. That's spiraling down. When is this shit ever going to stop? Yeah, I've been there. As an entrepreneur, yeah, I've been there. Pop the word "been there" in the comments if you connect with that. I would love to see if just how human we are on this level, because it's true. It's true. We tend to spiral in place of the challenge that is just at our doorstep, and we can't quite lift up to see higher. You just like lift up to see higher, because you're down. You're feeling down and low. It's not good. You need someone to kind of be like, hey, here, I'm going to give you a boost up, right? Here, put your foot here. Boost up, look over, see where this could possibly equip you. Oh, but Carolina, I mean, that couldn't possibly be true for every situation in life. Absolutely, it is. What about the horrific things in life? Well, there's horrific things happening all the time. But here's the thing. If you don't know how to really zone in on your own energy, you hear my dog howling over there. I call her my burnt golden doodle because she's my all black golden doodle. And she is a T2, so she maxes out at 50 pounds. And she's over there, man in the window. I think Amazon is at the door. My point of all of this is when we tend to just stay in the spot of the challenge, we forget what we're leaning into, what we're tuning into. We're just tuning into the noise and the chaos of it. Oh, when is it ever going to end? I'm not interested in living my life, my entrepreneurial dream there at that level. I'm interested in heightening that hawk level to see where else could this make an impact moving forward? And how does this connect to the ultimate bigger heart desire? We forget to do that. Super important. Slow down. Tune in. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know where you're being guided or directed. You can't even see. You can't even hear it. You're not even paying attention, maybe. Or maybe you're trying. Sit still. Be with your own thoughts. Look at nature. Leaning in, tuning in, gives us so much guidance. I'm a firm believer of that. That's how I walk through my journey. I love nature and squirrels and animals, and it's often that I'm helping a creature out or in the right place at the right time. Just helping another animal or just being a animal angel, helping them. Because I have to lean in. I have to slow down. And getting away from my computer allows me to slow down. Getting away from the camera, getting away from the search, the tags, the posting, the website, all the work, all the things that we are bringing forward. That is part of what we are here to be doing. And it's really cool that we're in this, era of time where we're using technology to connect via like this. And hopefully you feel connected in a way where you're also relating to what I'm saying. I hope you pop something in the comments so I know that you were here, that you watched, that you felt. Yeah. So I want to just close this podcast episode with asking you to really lean in. Maybe it is your time right now to slow down. Listen. Or maybe it's your time right now to speed up. Not in the car. Don't speed up in the car. Be a safe driver. My point is, it's not always so clear of what to do in business. Sometimes we need guidance. Well, let me reframe that. We all the time need guidance in our business. And that guidance usually comes from right here, inside, what's good for you, where you're going, what you're trying to bring forward. Trust me, I know I've had plenty of business coaches, and they get you to a certain place. But ultimately, that compass comes down to you. And when you know the compass and you're like, well, I don't know what the compass is saying. Well, then lean in and listen. Slow down. Listen. I'm telling you, you can hear. You can have ears to hear. It'll come through. Sit still. Look to nature. And listen. Listen for your next guided move. I'd love to hear what your next guided move is and what you're doing, what you're bringing forward. But this was on my heart. I mentioned it to 2 women in my circle. They were inspired by this. And so I'm hoping that you also can be inspired by this as an entrepreneur, maybe as a woman, maybe even as a man. If you're here listening right now, maybe you're also being asked to slow down. Just tune in around you. What's the theme? What's the synergy that's coming in through what you're doing, what you're seeing? Why does everything keep coming to roadblocks? Everything I try to do, roadblock, roadblock, roadblock. Maybe you're slowed down because the other orchestration of things are not ready yet for you to blend in. And if you go too fast, you're going to miss the opportunity. It's almost like when you're in jump rope, like in the schoolyard, where you would jump in, what's the first thing you do when you're doing into the double dutch? Okay, I could never do double dutch. I could do the one, I could jump into the one, but I wasn't as fancy as being able to do the both. So, a shout out to you girls, you boys, you girls, any human out there that could do the double dutch, shout out for that. I could never do that. But when you're trying to jump in, right, what do? You're going like this. You're feeling the rhythm. Okay, and you're timing it, right? And that's what I imagined coming through of slow down. I want you in rhythm of when this is already orchestrating coming to you. This is already in motion coming to you. How do I know that? Because I believe, I trust. It's where we started this talk to begin with, having faith. A lot of us talk about having faith, but do we really? And when we're challenged in it, in life, as life serves up these opportunities to practice our faith, to practice our trust, to listen, are we really doing it? Are we just bitching about how things are not going right? Right? I mean, I could have done that all 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, really? All I'm trying to do is be productive here. Like, what the heck, right? I could sit there and just complain. And as you start to do these practices, you start to see, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to even put energy to those words. I put gratitude in front of my frustration. I'm so thankful that I figured out like 4 different ways to upload a video without that server. Boom, win for me. It's not only a perspective switch, it's a practice of how you are budgeting your energy as life gives you the opportunity to choose, oh, where am I going to put my energy there? Because at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur, you need a lot of energy. You do. You're wearing a lot of different hats all by yourself. So no longer am I an entrepreneur that is busy. I refrain from being busy. I'm uber productive. I make things move. I'm in alignment with other business women, businessmen in action, making business moves aligned so that they ripple and make impact. I'm not just creating deadlines and hitting project deadlines. I used to do that. That's how I used to have business. And it spun me. It spun me out. I could feel chaos, but yet I wanted to balance my energy and I couldn't. Why? Because I wasn't governing my business nor my budget in that fashion. I was staying busy. People would call me, oh, I need this. Okay, yeah. Oh, I need that. Okay, yeah. Oh, I need this tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well, there's going to be a rush fee, but okay, yeah. I was busy. Not anymore. I don't entertain busy. I don't even offer busy, to be very honest with you. People call me up. Oh, you need that. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I would love to help you. Currently, right now, I have this going on, but I do have an opening in 2 weeks. Would you like to get on my calendar? It's a boundary. It's a budgeting of energy. It's a way of you moving your energy into another lane, protecting it. Not just being out there saying, yes, here, pull at me. What do you need? Who who wants? Yeah, you need, okay, here, just come pull another piece. Each time they're pulling energetic pieces out of you. And you're staying busy and you're losing sleep and you don't have time for your family and you're running here and there and ragged. Plus you have to do this and you still have to stop at the store and pick up the prescription. And sound familiar? Take a breath. I invite you to slow down, tune in to where you are being pulled and guided in your life, in your business, in your actions, in your creative pull forward. Because ultimately, that is where you desire to go. That is where your heart is pulling you to. And life is so beautiful in the way that it equips you to get there, so that you are there with dignity and ability and integrity, and you're tooled up and you have everything you need. And can you imagine if you were picked up right now, where you are currently right now, if you were picked up and dropped, let's just say 2 years into the future, 5 years into the future, you would not be equipped. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know any of this. I don't, how they expect me to do. I haven't even, yeah, because you skipped over the lessons. You can't skip the lessons. Everybody knows they're a build upon. But we tend to forget that in life. Oh, I just wish it was different. I wish I was there already. I wish I had this, right? We tend to get into that. There's no growth there. There's no sustainability there. We get to walk through life's this container, this beautiful thing that daily is equipping us for where our heart is pulling us to go forward. I mean, how freaking cool is that? I mean, what a mastermind. The creator thought, okay, but if they're going to be like advanced and they're going to be brilliant and they're going to do amazing things, how do I get them to, okay, all right, well, they're going to have to learn things each day, each opportunity, each conflict, each challenge, each memorable moment, whether it's a high or a low. They will learn something to equip them as they move forward, and so that they can be everything that they desire to be. Yeah. The desires of your heart are known. Yeah. I think often people think the creator is like a genie and you just get to wish for things and then poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Right? Oh, you want money? Poof, okay. You want to be a rock star? Poof, okay. Yeah, no, that's not how that's not how it works. I mean, it's funny, even as parents, right? Parents will say, oh, well, you have to earn it, right? Like, well, how are you going to mow the lawn? I'll buy you the video game. Like, there's something you have to do in order to get it, right? You got to get there. You're not going to just get it each time. You're not going to just give it to the kid every single time without them earning, understanding how to take care of things, how to earn things in life, how to save, how to be disciplined, right? How to go to the candy store and be like, oh, I just want to spend. Yeah, but if I do, it's going to take me longer. That's a lesson. That's a lesson in life. They have to learn it. Same thing for you and I. Those lessons never end. So if you can conceptualize that around your mind as an adult or as a parent or, a parental figure, if you will, think of that in the same aspect as the creator being, lovingly wanting the best for you, but also saying, okay, that's you do want that? You want that sweater? Okay. Obviously he's not materialistic. Creator divine is not materialistic, but the point is, okay, this is where you want. This is the desire of your heart. This is what you want to be. You want to sing. You want to use your voice to bring forward something. You want to make people happy with your gift, with what you do, how you dance, how you do anything. It could be any creative thing that you are bringing forward. Your creator is saying, okay, the divine is saying, yes, I want that too. Actually, because you were created to create. And that innate feeling inside you that you're so good at, and you're like, oh, I just have the desire to like make this into something bigger than me, bigger than myself. That desire is part of, yeah, absolutely, because that's what you were created to do. And that gift that you were given was made. You were designed with that gift. You were made with that gift to bring it forward, to make a ripple and impact in the world. And so when you have that desire and you want to bring that forward, absolutely, your creator is saying, yes, 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 come on, step forward. Yes, I'm so glad that you're feeling that. Now let's equip you. Let's get you ready. Because that level is coming. I'll start orchestrating it over here. Don't worry about it. You don't got to think about it. I'll even do it while you're sleeping, while you don't even know. But just know that I am working in your favor for the greater good, for your greater good, for your desires, for that heart pull, for your fire, the things that you're pulling forward. It's all part of how this is going to help the people around you. You're going to inspire people around you, people in your community, people across the world. There's a reason that you are feeling that. So, I think I said I was going to close the podcast like half an hour ago. So we just kept going. And that is why this is lean in and listen content. I hope that it's touching you heavy on your heart and in your mind. It gives you something to take back into your reflection time and think about. And also, as you're walking through life, slow down, tune in, have ears to hear and eyes to see. This is Carolina with Designify and my new podcast, Bring Your Fire Forward. And I'm so excited that you have joined us on this brand new podcast today. Bye-bye.